And today, for Lest We Forget, we're hosting Joseph Kangede, who is a journalist.
Joseph Mathenge.
Mathenge.
And we don't have Kangede in our family.
Mr.
Kangede is actually my mom's side of the family.
Really?
So it would have been like, oh, hiya. Because we are many.
You're many Kangedes.
Every third person is a relative.
My apologies. Joseph Mathenge.
Joseph Mathenge, yes.
It's so good to have you in studio.
Oh, thank you.
A journalist, of course.
Yes.
And you were on ground during the Westgate attack. But before we get into that, let's just welcome you to studio with a quote from Janet. She'll share. Tell us what it says to you.
Sure, thank you very much.
Yes, the quote is by Mishere Gidai Mugo, and she once said, "History is written by those who survive, but most remembered by those who suffered." What comes to your mind when you hear that quote?
I don't know, first of all, where I fall in. You remember, I'm not a survivor. I'm one of the people who went to rescue. Actually, I went to rescue. Actually, I was responding to the call.
You're a first responder.
Yeah, to the call that was made by somebody who was held hostage by terrorists at the Westgate. And so I don't know where the question is. So,
it's a quote here.
Yes. So maybe I start by telling the story, how it started. Yeah, for me to become, to respond, to become a rescuer. I was actually here in town at along Mamagena Street. There's that Highlands. There's corner house. There's a parking lot reserved for disabled. I had parked my car there, and my son was coming so that we could go to attend a wedding, to cover a wedding somewhere in Kikuyu, in Kabete. That time is when I received a distress call. Somebody was held hostage inside there. And the person said, "You come, and if you don't come, we will not make it." So I asked him, "What do you think? What makes you think that those are terrorists?" He said, "No, these are terrorists because they are shooting anybody on sight." And of course, normally you see robberies where, robbers, they don't take that long. Of course, they have their mission, and they cannot be somewhere for more than 10 minutes. They want to acquire something and disappear. But these are people who are shooting anybody they found on site. In fact, they went around looking for people around. So what I did, immediately I called the police, and there was an argument between me and them. Because I was telling them there's an attack at the Westgate. And the argument was, no, those are not terrorists. That's just a normal robbery. But I told them, no, that cannot be normal robbery, because the person whom I'm talking to, even as I talk to her, I can still hear gunshots. So we better rush there and see what is happening and rescue those people. So immediately, my son got in the car. But now there was an argument again between me and my son in the car. Now, where do we go? We have a wedding to cover in the Kabete, and now there's an attack here at Westgate. So he said, "Dad, forget about where we are going. Let's first go." By the way, that time, he had been misdiagnosed to have a bone cancer. So we were actually looking for funds to take him to India for treatment. And therefore, that wedding coverage to us was very important, because we would get some money. But he said, "Forget about this one first. Let's first go and rescue the person who is in danger. That person is more important than what we are going to do at this moment." So we drove all the way to Westgate, past now Parklands police station. That's why we met the police whom we were talking to. We drove together, we followed them. And when we got at the Westgate, there's that stretch to the Westgate. Where we parked the car, it was actually about 100 meters to the Westgate. We parked it somewhere along beside the road. And again, I told my son, "Now do this. You remain behind. Let me just rush. Then you come." He said, "No, I cannot remain behind. We have to go together." Now again, that's another argument here again. I'm telling him, "No, you can't go, because what is happening there, actually, we might lose our lives there." He said, "No, let's go." So,
how old was he?
Then he was actually 17 or 15, 16, 17 there. So the argument again, but then I told him, "Now, okay, fine. If we have to go together, ensure you're just next to me." So we went together. We maneuvered our way inside. That's when we found, even before we entered, we found somebody who had just, I think, somebody who was, somebody was actually running away from Westgate. And then there was a motorist also driving off from the Westgate. This motorist actually was taken off. In the process, he actually drove over that person. So that person was there, lying there, the car was there. So the guy, the driver of the car took off and left the car there, and the person down there under the car. Now, to us, that was not, again, we saw that was actually, we could not do anything to that because that person was already dead. So we could do nothing about it. Now, we had to find our way now to the Westgate. Just as we were entering to there was a barrier somewhere. Just as we were going through the barrier, again we found out that the gatekeeper, the security person, had been shot dead. He was actually, his body was lying down there. Again, we could do nothing about it because that person is dead. So we moved. We actually pursued and entered. At the Westgate, at the parking lot, I had never been there before. That was our first time actually to be there. We found so many people shot, their legs, their feet. Their hands had been shattered off, and they were screaming. Some of them are, others were dead. And you've never been to such a situation whereby over 30 people are looking upon you. You see? And you can do nothing. You can see this person already, this person is dying. If not so, already he's in pain. What do we do? Yeah. So we had nothing to do about it. And then next to her, about how many? About 30 centimeters next to her, there was a grenade that had, they had already removed the pin, but somehow that grenade did not explode. Yeah, it did not go off. But it's about that centimeters is a very short distance actually. She's tapping the ground, and immediately Jeff saw it. Now my son saw it again and said, "Now that's a grenade there." We had already entered with somebody, one of the security personnel, and we told him about it. Immediately he rushed and grabbed it and returned the pin. So the next now step was to get in, where now the shooting was taking place. And that's where the person whom had called us was, remember, she's still calling, telling us here things are bad. And we didn't know where she was. Again, it's like I said earlier on, this is our first time. We don't know where, we're already there, but we don't know where she was.
You don't know there.
Yes.
You don't know what to expect, what you'll
Yeah, we don't know where to get, because she tells us that, now the question is, when you are entering, what did you see? So that we could now trace the area. She said, as we were entering, I saw a red carpet hanging somewhere. A red carpet. Okay. So what I did immediately, I took some pictures, because it was just below the, that was either along, it was either first floor or either ground floor or first floor. So carefully I took a picture, and then we kept on looking and studying those pictures as we were entering to see where the red carpet was. And that's the time again. Some of the, this is how it is, and some of the security we entered with, some of them were actually scared.
Yeah.
They were scared. In fact, I remember pushing one of them inside, and he was telling me that he wants to go and control the crowd out there. I don't know, how do you go and control the crowd and people are dying here? Let's get in. You have a gun, I don't have one, but we have to get in. So eventually we entered.
Yeah.
And now, I had a small phone that is now Mulikamwizi as usual. And Mulikamwizi it was a very good phone, because the battery will not go off immediately. It would take even a day or so. It is down that saved us. We kept on communicating with that person until we got where she was. But then before then, that was around 12:30. By the time we were getting there, it was around 6:30.
Wow.
But in between 12:30 and 6:30, so many things happened.
Yeah.
So many things happened. Some of the people whom we entered with never made it. Some of them. And if you may recall, there's a lady who was lying down on the ground with the kids.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm the one who told her to remain lying there until we get where she was. She was on the either second floor, and now this time round we are on that floor. I could see her down there, but now getting to the second floor from that floor was another story. So
Yeah.
where I was, I kept on now shouting to her, telling her, just remain there, we'll get there, we'll get where you are.
Yeah.
During all this time, Joseph,
Yes.
were you hearing, were the terrorists firing?
They were firing. In fact, I told you, some of the people whom we entered with never made it. They did not come out of that place.
These were the security personnel that you went in with.
Yes, some of them. And in fact, there's a picture I sent you where Jeff was taking cover actually on a pillar. There was a pillar somewhere. That person, his name was Moses. I came to realize that was Moses. Moses was shot, and to date he has about 2 bullets in his body that were launched in his body. So that's how he is today.
Yeah.
Some of the people, another one I remember, even the Rachael from the Rachael unit. One of them, when he entered, because again they found us inside, he did not come out.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, you're speaking like it's that day. So it's literally playing in your mind.
It
The
will never
images,
come out. It will never come out. That is something that will never. It is still fresh today,
Yeah.
to date in my mind.
Yeah.
Yes.
12 years later, what moment stays with you the most?
The moment is that I said that time, that moment when people are screaming for help.
Yeah.
It has never come out of my mind. It is still fresh, like I've just told you. That moment, even that lady, you remember, with her kids.
Yeah.
I remember that man, either he was a Chinese, and his arm actually was shattered off again. You could see actually the arm hanging like this, like a cloth, but that's somebody's arm. That person is there, still yelling at you, it's crying for help from you, and you're there actually looking at him. Yeah. And then I remember those kids, they're at the cooking competition.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a cooking competition that time.
Yeah.
Most of them were lying down there. Some of them were dead. It is something that I will never forget, because all over, you can see you are just walking in between, you're walking between dead people, dead, and others are alive. They're there, just looking at them. Yes.
Joseph, those first hours were full of, from all accounts, from your account, from other accounts, they're full of just chaos, pandemonium,
Yes.
Nothing like a structured response.
Yes.
And even from what I'm hearing you say, it was the same. You were able to park your vehicle. Of course, you had the police that you had communicated with earlier, and you got in there.
Yes.
As you're getting in there, did you find any other responders who seemed to be working in coordination?
That
or
time,
was it everybody is just there trying to do what they can? Because
time-
you're getting in there about, half an hour to an hour after it started?
after it started.
Yeah.
When I got in there, I can say there was no coordination. There was no coordination. And remember, I told you, I was using my phone. I'm the one who was communicating with people inside there.
Yeah.
At some point, it's like I'm the one who was coordinating inside there. At some point, I have...
Even with the security?
Yeah, telling them where to go, because I'm the one who is communicating. Telling them down there, somebody is down there, go on this side, on this floor, that's where we are heading to. And would even ask those people through the phone, what are you seeing? Because where you are, you can see from where you are. What are you seeing? They would tell us. You see, and so there was no coordination, and that's why some of the people we had lost their lives, because there was that coordination. Although later those people were able to control the situation, but at the first time that. Response, there was no coordination. Coordination was the key. We didn't have a coordination. Yes.
And how about when you are in there?
Yes.
Because you know and you can hear gunshots.
Yes.
Are you seeing the people who are firing?
You know, it was
You're the one who's coordinating. Here is Joseph Mathenge. He's coming here. He's now first responder. He's coordinating with people that he's trying to rescue or to support in hiding. And he's coordinating as well with the security and telling them where to go. As you're doing all those things, are you looking out for the people who are shooting?
Of course, you have to be careful. You know, that's number one. Your life is very important.
So what are you doing?
This time round, we actually are taking cover. You know, again, in journalism, we've been taught about these things. We were in cover when you go where there's a shootout. Your life is very important. Your safety is also important. So even as you communicate, you must know you must know who is around you, what is around you. That was very important to us. We were taking cover that time. We could hear gunshot all over. Because even them who are the attackers were also taking cover. So it was a play and hide and seek. Yes. Yeah.
That was, I think we've seen the picture of your son taking cover, the pillar?
Yes, that was my son taking cover.
Taking cover.
Yes.
I want to know how you got out and when you got out.
Oh, that's a good question. By the time we were getting out, it was now 6:30. And I said we were there by around 12:30. And all these things were happening. I remember now the security personnel, now Rachael, KDF, later came in. And when they came in, of course, there is a picture, actually, one of them. When the KDF were entering, actually where I was standing, I was actually showing them how to get in, because I was already there. Yes. And remember, they are also relying on the people they are finding there, showing them the direction, how to get in there, and then they take cover. You see, and even the Rachael people also, as personnel, we did the same. And with time, of course, now they took charge of whatever was happening, and we were able to rescue. Luckily enough, we were able to rescue the person who called us. Yes, by around 6:30. Yeah, but unfortunately, that's the time again the Rachael person was shot dead. Yes, when we were about now to get in where she was. Yes,
you were with the Rachael officer.
Now, what happened? Remember, I said I was somewhere up there.
Yes.
So I'm coordinating again, telling them now the carpet is down there. Turn this side, I can see it. Turn on your left, we can see it. Now look at your side, there's this carpet there. Look at that red carpet. The door that is next to the red carpet, there are so many people inside there. We want to rescue them. So, in the process, of course, now even, of course, when they got in there, they also took charge. They actually took charge. They took cover in different areas. That's when one of them was shot. Because again, now those terrorists were also were shooting. Also, were all, looking. Also
watching out,
knowing what to follow. Where to yes, yeah.
How were you able to coordinate? You know, you're a responder. You're a journalist.
You're a father.
Yes.
How were you able to tackle all those roles? Which one comes first?
You know,
first, you have to survive. Obviously, you have to
survive.
Take cover. But how were you able to kind of do all that?
That's a good question again. You know, some of these things, they happen. You only have 1 or 2 minutes to make decisions. Some of this, you know, you only have a minute even to make a decision. What to do, and even to make a choice. Where to be. I know my son is here, and then I know this person is calling, and then we know that we are aware somebody is actually looking for us. Somebody might even shoot us from wherever he or she is. We are aware of all these things. So at that time, your mind is working out. You know, around the clock. You are moving very fast in making decisions. Yeah. Because I know he is here. If he's here, then I'm sure he's okay, he's safe. Then this person on this side, now the call is coming. But again, I'm very cautious even when answering the call, because we are not communicating loudly because somebody will hear where we are. You see? But again, you're also telling the person, you've already told me where you are. Now just relax, we are coming there. Don't stop calling now, we are coming there. Yes. We were already inside here.
Yeah.
So that was the most important thing, to assure that person and others who are inside. We are already inside. Yes. We can now locate the red carpet where it is. We are already inside. Just take cover. Just take care of yourselves. Hide wherever you can inside that door, inside that room. We'll get there.
What about the photography?
Yeah.
Why was it important? Because given all the things that are happening,
Yes.
you would think the last thing on your mind would be to document these things. But you did.
It did, yes.
Why was it important for you?
Number two, remember, I'm a journalist. I'm also here to communicate to the world, to show them what is happening.
Yeah.
And also, that can only happen when I'm documenting it. Now, there were 2 rounds we were playing with our camera here. One, remember, I said we were using
search
our
for the
pictures.
red carpet.
Yeah, red carpet. So pictures were very important to us. We were looking at them together to see where that red carpet is. Secondly, whatever we are documenting here, we'll now tell the story. We'll tell the world that story through these images, whatever was happening. And even if we don't make it, whoever will come and get our cameras here will still get the pictures from
You'll
them.
see what happened.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Even if we don't make it.
Yes.
We'll come back after the break. Rachael Muraya will join us briefly just to tell us a little bit about her account. I remember one of the things that stood out during that time was a little bit of the media faux pas, and it taught us, I think the media fraternity was learning how to broadcast during that, because at some point callers were calling into the studio saying where they are, and broadcast houses had to be told, can you not take those calls live and say the location of the people, because it was new to everyone. So you think you're helping, but what if you're causing harm?
You're endangering
by
them.
directing where the person is.
And that's
so
why I even
many
told
things.
that lady, I told
Yes.
her to stop calling because I'm inside. We're already inside here.
Yeah.
So,
And you've already told me where you are.
Where
and
you are.
you've told us where you are.
Yeah.
So just relax.
We're
We are
coming.
coming. We are already here.
Let's come back after the break and continue this conversation. It's coming up to 8:30. Lady Njoroge says, even if I don't make it, people will see the photos. She's quoting you. She's like, wow, journalist par excellence. I'm here wondering if all journalists are first responders. Important human skills that we should truly discuss. In fact, civil servants should be first responders too. Donge. Okay.
Donge.
Yes.
Police are civil servants, so
I guess it adds.
Yeah.
We'll continue with our conversation with Joseph Mathenge, who, as mentioned, journalist, father, responder on the site. We'll also be hearing from Rachael Muraya, and Philo, you can let us know whether we have her on the line now. She survived that day. She can just walk us through a little bit about her own experience and what she's grappling with now, 12 years later. Philo, do we have Rachael on the line? All right. Rachael, good morning. Can you hear us?
Yeah, good morning, Janet, and good morning, everyone.
Good
morning,
Rachael. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We're here commemorating 12 years coming up to that Westgate attack. Rachael, tell us a little bit about what happened, your own experience during the attack.
On that fateful day, I used to work at Ashley's for about 5 years. And that fateful day on Saturday, I had a client, but I got hurt within 30 minutes because I came in for work around 12:20, and that's when the terror came in around 12:30. So I was escorting my cousin who had come to say hi to me using the escalators. If you can remember, there were escalators there. So when we reached at the ground floor near Bata, everyone started running all over. So most people were saying there were thieves that came into the mall, and everyone got confused. For me, I didn't run back to the Ashley salon. I rushed to the rooftop parking where there was a cooking competition, and that's where I got hurt.
we're so sorry, Rachael, and it's good to hear from you. You rushed to the rooftop, and I know
the second floor.
When you say you got hurt, what exactly happened?
When I was trying to jump from the second floor till down to the ground floor, everyone was running for his or her own life. And that's where, when I was trying to climb up, there was a grenade that was kept down on the floor. I did not know if there was a grenade. So when I was coming down, that's when I kept my right leg on that grenade, and the grenade exploded on my right leg. So I got amputated.
We're incredibly sorry, Rachel. And there's no you could have seen that coming. Were you, how long after that were you able to get rescued and evacuated out of Westgate?
At that time now, if you can remember, the phone calls were not going in, so I tried calling my parents. But at that time I was still bleeding because at the rooftop parking there was no shelter. I tried calling my mom and my dad who lives in Mombasa. Or even them, they were watching and wondering how they can get me, if I'm hurt or not. But finally, I laid down there. What I can remember, because I was going unconscious, only 2 piles of blood was remaining in my body. So the person who rescued me was Dr. Basculet, Kenya Red Cross, former Secretary General.
The Kenya Red Cross.
Do you remember the moment he came, or had you passed out by then?
He just kept me at the ambulance, but I couldn't remember who he was. So after him following my story and following the operation that I underwent, on the same leg I underwent like 4 operations. That's when he started following up my story. At that time, the hospitals were full. Mpisha was full, Aga Khan was full. Then I was taken to Mata Hospital.
Okay. So, Rachel, at this point, you have a grenade has exploded on your leg. You're being taken to a hospital. You are trying to call your relatives. You're not able to reach anyone. So you're basically going to a hospital, and nobody knows that this has happened to you. At what point and how did your immediate family members get to know about you and where you are?
My sister was going all over the hospital because she had my picture, and going all over the hospital just asking if you've seen this person. That's when they came to Grunanak and they found out that Red Cross had taken me there. And then now my relative came in at that time around 7, if I can remember, it was at night.
So around 7 p.m. the same Saturday is when they found you at Grunanak.
Yes.
Okay. And Rachel, what has your road to recovery been like since then? And what are you still grappling with, just in terms of, do you still get a sense that there, that your concerns and all of the concerns of survivors are being taken into consideration? But also, just what is your road to recovery like now, 12 years later?
Like now, Janet, I underwent like 5 operations. The right leg that was amputated, you see a grenade inside has shrapnels. Those shrapnels now, some of them, you have to go to the same doctor who amputated you. Now my doctor again was the one in Mata, and there's one in Aga Khan. So when I go for an X-ray there, most of the shrapnels are inside the nerves. So they told me they cannot do anything much, because when they remove them, the nerves will be very delicate. And my right leg now, the fingers, I cannot carve them. My left leg, I cannot carve my fingers. They're still stiff until today, and the grenade as well, and the shrapnels as well for the grenade, they're still inside. So when it comes, especially in cold season, you have to walk with a crutch. And when it's too painful again, I have to walk with them, both of them. That's how I survive.
With 2 crutches?
You cannot, with 2 crutches. You cannot do anything in the way you used to do. You use slow motion, like walking. You cannot walk very fast. Anything you do slowly.
When you, the road to recovery, cost-wise as well, how much has it cost you from Guru Nanak to Mata to Aga Khan to now the cost of care consistently, even these checkups that you still go to?
Okay, first I want to thank Kenya Red Cross. They have been there for me. The first bill they paid for us as survivors, even when you can remember, there was that time the late Pope Polimo and Safaricom used to changisha pesa, and that helped us, like all survivors, to pay the hospital bills, the ones that we were there. Now the second challenge is, like my amputated leg, I have to buy a prosthetic shoe after every 2 years and a half. It depends with the shoe how you manage it and handle it. Like the shoe now, you have to get it in Germany because here in Kenya they say it's too expensive. After every 3 years, I have to buy the shoe with like 250,000. Initially now I've bought 2 shoes. The first shoe was bought by Kenya Red Cross. Now these other shoes I have to chip into my pocket, save a bit. My parents have been there. They have been helping me. At times it's very difficult. I always call my mom and dad. I tell them my shoe is almost done. Now again they have to chip in on whatever I have. They add up the amount, and then now I have to get the shoe from Germany. Yeah.
On this day, Rachael, you worked at Ashley, like you've told us. What were you doing at Ashley?
I was a beautician.
So since this incident, are you able to work as a beautician, or what do you do now?
Yeah, Red Cross supported me and gave me a salon. I'm working at the Boma Hotel basement. I've been there. I do manicure, pedicures, but a service that I can stand for long, I cannot manage because of the legs.
Okay.
Thank you so much for sharing, Rachael. Have you had any psychosocial support, therapy, counseling since then?
No.
Okay.
Sometimes it's very difficult, Janet, when you remember and you just see how people died there. The terrorists had no heart. If you scream, they just shoot you. So at times we just live by the grace of God because He's the one who has given us life until where we are today. And most people, like the way Mathenge has said it, people may not believe that I am a survivor, but when I meet with somebody, I testify and I tell them I'm a survivor. The only challenge that we are about 4 people that we always meet. Some feel down, sometimes they feel up. There's a guy called Moses. He's an AP. He was shot 15 times. We still communicate. Until today, he has 2 bullets on his spine. So Aga Khan Hospital said they cannot remove it for him until he gets sponsors so that he can go to India. The other survivor is Shamim. She has shrapnels on her back and she cannot even lie down on the chair or kneel on the chair. So when we meet, like all of us, we give ourselves heart and we say one day, one time, the government is going to compensate us because at times it is very difficult, very challenging. And when you feel you're down, you want to go and see the doctor, at times you don't have that money and you have to go to the same doctor who did the procedure for you.
Okay.
So I would love and pray to God that one day the government will listen to us as survivors. We always feel down because some of the survivors are said, like the Dusit attack, people were paid. The one for Mandera, the school, people were paid. And even when we come to Westgate, when you meet with some people, they tell us, but you guys were already compensated with the government. We say, no, you've never been compensated. Then they ask us, how do you manage with your life? And we say, it is by the grace of God.
Okay.
So this year, we tried to file a case, the 3 of us. And when we went to a lawyer, his name is Mokua, around Westlands area. He has an office there. So for us, why we decided to file the case, we saw in the internet when Westgate was being reopened, it was paid 60 billion by the Sony Insurance. So we partnered with all of us survivors and we filed a case.
Yeah.
When the case was still continuing, the lawyer told us it's past the years and there's no way that you're going to be compensated. So the lawyer tried to push us and said we withdraw this year, and we withdraw the case this year, April.
Okay.
How many are you again? So you've mentioned the three of you who are meeting. Four.
We are four. There's one taxi driver known as Bonnie.
Okay.
There's me, Rachael, Muraya, there's Shamim, and there's Moses.
Okay.
Is there a wider group, an attempt to reach out to others who survived this and the families of those that died?
No, because the four of us are the ones that we were in one ward. That's when we knew each other.
Okay. And those who say that they've received, or do you know anyone who has received compensation? Do you know of anyone who's received compensation?
No.
No.
Okay.
Because on our phone, when we were filing the case, there is one person of the government who called us from Protection House, and they asked us, are we survivors of the Westgate attack? We said yes. And they asked us, you guys were hurt there. Do you have any papers to show that you guys are disability? We said yes. They asked us, do you have the card for disability to show your number? We said yes. Then the lady told us from the Protection House, your case has gone further. Now you need to go to the interior so that you know where the Westgate case is. So when we went there, that's the time the deputy president was being inaugurated, was being announced, and that's where the lawyer started frustrating us, telling us we should withdraw. And that's when we gave up and we withdrew the case.
Okay, Rachael. Rachael, once again, thank you so much. Hopefully you will keep updated on your ongoing case. But in the meantime, thank you for sharing your story. We're very sorry for everything that happened, and we continue to wish you a recovery in all forms of recovery. Thank you very much, Rachael.
Thank you, Janet, and thank you for your team.
Thank you.
Joseph Mathenge is still here with us in the studio. Joseph was a photographer, journalist. He was among those that were the first responders there. You went in there with your son, right?
Yes.
We just asked Rachel the question of psychosocial support since then.
Yes.
Let's ask you the same question.
Yeah.
You and your son, did you go for counseling, for therapy after this incident?
I like I told you earlier on, those are, now that's a new story you're telling us here. Who was there to counsel us? Nobody. And in fact, now even us, we are in a better position than Rachael. Nobody has ever thought of thought of calling Rachael and, or those other survivors. Yeah. Nobody has ever thought of that. Listen to what she's saying. Leave alone now counseling. She's actually struggling even to get her to acquire a shoe. And nobody, she goes into her pocket. Nobody is taking care of that. So that is now, that's just a myth.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're still in touch with a lot of those who survived, including Rachael.
Yeah.
And according, most of them share a similar challenge? I know she's spoken to 3 other people who she was in a ward with and who are still seeking compensation. Are you in touch with a larger number of survivors, and are they saying the same things as Rachael, no psychosocial support offered and no compensation?
The same group Rachael is talking about, those are the people I know. And again, from that, I also know others from the bomb blast, you know, that the American Embassy. I know some of them, because again, I was the first person to cover that one. The American attack.
The August 7th.
August 7th.
1998.
Yes. On those people, nobody thinks of them.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So counseling is not, counseling is just a story here.
Counseling and compensation
seems
and
compensation.
To be
Yes. And you hear even Rachael is being frustrated. Rachael and the rest are being frustrated by a lawyer who should be fighting for their rights. Yes. What kind of a lawyer is that? Yeah.
And I'm not aware that there's any cap on the time limit which you can file a case for compensation, right?
Yeah.
and perhaps
it's something we need
to look into. Yeah.
Yes, because even, it doesn't matter how long it has taken. You remember even the people there. There's a time people went for the freedom fighters.
Yes, Momo veterans.
Yeah,
right.
the veterans.
Yep.
See, they filed a case and they were compensated.
You're right.
That was how many years?
Right. We have a caller coming in. Just hold on, but you're absolutely right. We have a caller. Let me get the name right, Philip.
It's Gary Kwaya. We've reached out to him. He was among the first responders, working with the Red Cross on that day. He's among those that arrived, soon after, I think around 1 p.m. Gary, good morning.
Good morning, Latif.
Thank you very much for speaking to us, Gary. So tell us your account. Where were you when the attack first occurred? How did you hear about it? How did you get together with other Red Cross volunteers to get to Westgate?
Thanks, Latif. On this very day, I was in my office on Kimat House in town. By then, I was the chairman of the Kenya Red Cross Nairobi. So I was called and informed there was a cooking that was taking place at Westgate, and then there was a robbery attack, so some people could have been injured. So I was picked from the office and went to Westgate. To us, it was just a normal robbery. But then when we go there, that's when things changed. Actually, we go there and everybody was running out of the mall. There was a lot of pandemonium confusion. And I call that my moment of insanity, because when people were running out, we were running in. And that's when we met, by then, the Secretary General of Red Cross, Mr. Bas Goulet. And he told us it's actually an attack. And I remember the first instance I showed when we walked in at the parking bay, at the parking area. My first incident was there was a lady lying down and she was holding a baby. So my first instinct, I need to look at this lady. So when I entered and I held her head up, actually it had been cut into 2 pieces. That is the first and the memory that I remember. And then reviewing the area, I remember there were grenades under each and every car. There was grenades under it. And so our first mission was basically to go, because people were running out, and we had to go inside the building, because there were screams, there were shouts and everything. And by the time I was getting to Westgate, I think my phone was running mad. Everybody was calling, everybody was texting. I remember the first thing I did was to text my friends and family members, telling them there's an attack at Westgate, and I'm going inside, so just pray for me. And then I switched off the phone. Yeah, so there was confusion. There was no coordination.
Yeah.
We had our police, we had our military, we had everybody there. But then, even them, they were scared of getting into the building. But as Red Cross, we were getting into the building. And all I remember, we go where people are hiding, and they will see us, and they will see the emblem, the Red Cross jackets, and they'll really come out and grab us, and we'll lead them out. As we are doing that, the shooting was taking place. Our uniformed personnel, the police, the military, were even scared of getting into those spaces.
Right.
And that's why I keep on saying it was my moment of insanity, because we kept on going into the areas that shooting was taking place. We kept on getting guys out. People were injured. People were dead. Even our security personnel they'll get in, and then we'll have to get them out, because some of them were injured, some of them were dead. So it was a whole, it was a total mess. And I remember staying into the building until about 4 a.m. in the morning, just trying to access and rescue guys.
4 a.m.
Yeah.
At this point, did you have... Okay, continue.
Just ask, it's okay.
I was going to say, at that point, was there any, like you said, it was very chaotic, no systems, but now at that point, was there a system where perhaps there's areas of Westgate that had been cleared, so you knew this was like a safe pathway, and when you got to people, you could direct them that way? Was there anything of that sort?
There was no safe space. I remember at one time even our personnel had to take instructions from a bus, that take instructions from me as the chairman, because now we have to tell them this is where we are going. Please give us cover, and we'll go with them along the way. They will withdraw. But being that the responders, when you've lost your mind, what you're thinking is about who is the next person I can rescue, who is the next child I can carry, who's the next parent I can look for, who's the next. So it was chaotic.
You would enter with security personnel and they would turn back halfway.
They will turn back. Okay. They'll turn back halfway.
Thank you,
Gary. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing with us your account, and I think later on we'll be reaching out to you and others just to hear the lessons that were learned by institutions such as the Kenya Red Cross and others in coordinating other emergency responses. And I'm sure there'll be very many lessons that were picked out of this that also are applied in the 14 Riverside attack and other attacks thereafter, even the Garissa University attack. Gary Kwea, thank you very much for speaking to us. We've also been speaking to Joseph Mathenge, who was among the first responders then, and giving us an account of what happened. How's your son? How was your son then, as we conclude, Joseph?
Later on, we succeeded. We took him to India, where again he was. We discovered he had been misorganized. Yeah, so he's okay. Yes, and now he's back. He's back to. To his normal life. He's doing things as usual. Yes,
that's good.
Yeah,
that's good to know.
Yeah.
Joseph, thank you very much, and thank you for all the coverage that you've done. And I mean, it's once a journalist, always a journalist. You never said, you left the newsroom, and so therefore...
even after this, we've covered so many of them, even the Gen Z demonstrations.
You were right there.
In fact, I covered from the first to the end.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Even until when people entered the parliament, I was inside there.
Okay, we need to obviously bring you back to talk about that. Courage in the face of fire.
In the face of fire.
Right.
Sure.
All right.
Our next conversation is going to be about security, the security sector, and we'll be joined here by somebody who is in that sector. But the angle today is women in the security sector. Keep it here for that, coming up to 9 a.m.